Listen, I will always enjoy beating Manchester City. I will always enjoy beating Liverpool. But I have to ask, is there a better feeling than beating Arsenal? And I think what makes the momentum of this win so much more sweet is the fact that within the first 15, 20 minutes of that match, guys, United were playing so poorly. And I think we were just playing overtly cautious. I have no problem having a defensive mindset in a game like this. At times I could even promote it. But guys, we were just playing straight into the hands of Arsenal. We were allowing them to get set pieces. We were giving away cheap corners, cheap free kicks. You're just thinking to yourself, okay, eventually the dam's gonna break. Sonny Lemons had to make a great save on a Zubamendi header. I'm thinking to myself, this could easily, one could turn to two to three to four. That was the momentum of the match. I think what started to change that culture around just a little bit was when we allowed Bruno Fernandes to get onto the ball. He was playing the number 10. At first, I think he was probably a little too close to Brian Mbuemo, who is playing the 9 today. I think when he dropped off just a little bit more and got into acres of space with runners beside him and in front of him, you started to see the best of him. And I think we started to carve out a couple kind of half chances. But then again, to stop that momentum comes the Arsenal goal. Declan Rice makes a great turn on the ball, shovels a pass all the way to Saka. Saka finds Odegaard. Odegaard takes a poor shot, deflects off the calf of Lissandro Martinez, and in 30 minutes, I'm thinking to myself, oh man, this is why you despise Arsenal. They just play such uninspiring football, and it just takes that little bit of spark, just that little bit of something that puts them into the lead. And with the general momentum of that match, I was thinking to myself, this could be second, third, four goals incoming. But guys, I actually think this is what United need. I'm thinking, putting on my reminiscent glasses, I'm thinking to myself, what if Arsenal didn't score that goal? Would United raise their level to what they did? I'm not sure. But Arsenal score, and all of a sudden, we just we feel a need to get confident. We're starting to have a little bit more zip on our passes. We create two really good chances. Both Fernandez and Embuemo have good shots, but guys, at the last second, they're just disrupted by Saliba and Gabriel. And if you get past those two, great, you have David Raya. So it's just, even though you're working yourselves into the match, you just need something. You just need that gift. And guys, Martin Zubamendi played the role of Santa Claus today. He gave us that gift. I mean, a great two-man press from both Embuemo and Fernandez. They snatched themselves onto a poor pass from Zubamendi, and Embuemo takes the coolest, calmest, most collected finish you will ever see to make it 1-1 in the 35th minute. And from that point on, United just realized, wait, Arsenal are actually playing pretty poorly. They're losing the foothold of the match. They're losing the individual one-on-ones. The ball is just it's just not taking the right bounce for them. And we snapped onto it. We continue to slowly generate momentum. And I had the feeling that if that first half was extended by another 10 or 15 minutes, United could have scored a goal. But it wasn't. And that scared me because at half it's 1-1, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, in the second half the Emirates are going to get behind it. It's going to be a packed stadium. There's going to be that extra, that 12th, 13th man going in for Arsenal. You have to be able to keep your cool. And guys, man, did we keep our cool. The first 5 minutes of that second half, it wasn't always progressive possession, but it was just realizing the tempo of the match, realizing that if Arsenal get onto it, their fans will get into it, and they'll eventually create a chance. But we didn't allow it. The amount of times I saw Lissandro Martinez just put his foot on the ball in the first couple minutes of that second half was absolutely brilliant. And you want to talk about something else that's brilliant. Patrick Dorgu. Oh my gosh. One of the best goals you will ever see. I promise you that much. United have this weird tendency of scoring fantastic goals at the Emirates. I'm thinking of Rashford 3 seasons ago, Rashford the season after that, obviously the 2017-18 Lingard and Martial combo. Guys, this tops the list. Some of the most beautiful interchanging 1-2s between Bruno Fernandes and Patrick Dorgu just carve apart the stubborn rigid Arsenal backline, and Dorgu takes one of the sweetest cracks of a shot you will ever see. Hits off the crossbar, whatever it does, bounces into the net. Absolutely brilliant. Exactly what you need. Arsenal are already being shaken off their perch. You score a shot like that, and they're really starting to stumble. They really are. But I'm thinking to myself, that's great. I'm glad we got that goal. But we can't shut up shop. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep being aggressive. Because Arsenal in halftime, they didn't change much. The momentum of the game was just generally moving towards United, and Arsenal had no answer for it. And I actually think since United scored that second goal, we were continuing to create chances. Dorgu had another good shot from an underlapping run on Brian and Buemo. We bring in Mateus Cunha, who is a dynamite, maverick of a player. And I just think we're doing the little things right. We deserve a win. And then in the 84th minute, I mean, oh my gosh, set piece FC. This is why you don't like Arsenal, guys. Because for that whole entire second half, seriously, when Arsenal got on the ball, it was playing the same passes into the same kind of right channels of the pitch. They would almost always go out for a goal kick. Saka couldn't find a 1-2. Noni Madueke gets subbed in, and he's not having a great performance. They can't find a cut back into the middle. Odegaard gets subbed off. They're having all these subs kind of try and just shove themselves up the pitch, but there's no creativity. There's no 1-2s. Lissandro Martinez is just eating all day against Saka or whoever he was marshaled up against, just escorting the ball out of bounds. Escorting the ball out of bounds again and again and again. The amount of times I saw Sonny Lemons grab that ball and plant it for a goal kick, genuinely some of the best moments of my life, watching him just take a goal kick and having Arsenal do the exact same thing. Channel the ball down towards the right side, channel the ball down towards the right side, and create absolutely nothing from it. So that's why I wouldn't even say I was heartbroken. I wouldn't even say I was upset. But when they scored that goal in the 84th minute, it was almost just expected. I mean, just a cluster of genuinely 10 guys inside that box, and Sonny Lemons tries to Superman himself over everyone, tries to punch it away. It falls to the feet of Marino, and it goes 2-all. I wasn't happy. But guys, it didn't break my heart. There was something in there that was telling me, if we keep attacking, we can do this. If we just keep it going with the attacking quality that we have, we still have Fernandez out there. We're dragging on Mateus Cunha onto the pitch. There is just that chance. There's just that chance. And sure enough, Mateus Cunha. Mateus Cunha, guys, it was this absolutely brilliant job of winning the ball in the midfield and filling your lanes. I don't think that's something that's been talked about enough when we beat Manchester City. Whenever we got on the ball and we created a counterattack, we filled our lanes. Today, guys, when we got the ball for that Cunha goal, everyone moved in the right position. Everyone was being reactionary to what was happening. We were dragging Arsenal defenders apart. No one could press on Fernandez. No one could press on Cunha. Eventually, the ball finds Cunha, and he takes the sweetest shot. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be watching these highlights probably nonstop for the next week of my life, guys. Cunha makes it 3-2, and there's just a palpable sense of relief. Because from that point on, I'm not thinking to myself, Arsenal could get a third here. This game could end tied. As long as we just kept it away from the set pieces, I felt very confident. And guys, sure enough, we did. I think Gyökeres, he fouled Lissandro Martinez and tried to create a chance. Noni Madueke had a terrible game. Just in general, today, Arsenal probably played. I don't know. I despise watching Arsenal, but they've been pretty good this season at just being consistent. I would be shocked if this wasn't their worst performance of the season. Just the way we disrupted, we won the individual one-on-ones, and you hear so much, oh, Arsenal are just the strongest team. They're the physically strongest, physically, just aggressive team. They just muscled themselves through games. Not today. Not today. It was the exact opposite. When the ball was kind of in a half space of no man's land and there was a 50-50 chance Arsenal United win it, United were there every single time. When we needed to get in front of the ball to create a foul, we did. It was just the exact stuff in which you would anticipate Arsenal to do, United were doing today, especially in that second half. Just quickly, some real quick player reviews, guys. Casemiro, can we extend that contract? That was one of the most brilliant number six performances I have seen. Back to back great performances from him, and something I really want to channel in on. As I thought against Man City, him and Manu played fantastic. I wanted to see, could they do it again? Casemiro almost raised his bar, just doing the little things right again and again and again. Manu in the first half I thought was pretty quiet. I thought just his body shape looked a little out of it. I think he's just such a such a great player, kind of on the ball, dribbling in between players, getting himself out of tight spaces. In that first half, he looked like he was kind of pinned to the sideline or pinned to the touchline. He just couldn't find that spark. But in the second half, when you saw him moving in the midfield, he did a fantastic job of just getting those last second flicks. Um, Sunday Lamans, listen, I know for that goal, it was a rough goal that Arsenal scored. I know he probably could have done better. Excuse me, vaulting himself over that kind of clunk of 10 guys that I mentioned earlier. But you just want to talk about safe hands, just safe, secure football. Because just the amount of times he didn't put us into danger. And I'm thinking of a goalkeeper who's currently on loan in Turkey, and I think to myself, would he have kept us in that match today? I don't think so. I'm thinking of Altay Bayındır, and I'm thinking of Andre Onana, and I'm asking myself, would they have kept us into this match today? I don't think so. And Lemons just, he handled almost every single set piece perfectly. He made the saves that he needed to make. He wasn't a hero, and that in turn almost made him the hero of the match. Including that goal. I even think with that goal, he still had a great game. Bruno Fernandes, I mean, guys, I could wax lyrical about this man for forever. Just a fantastic game. Brian Mbuemo, oh my gosh. Gosh, I could start crying, guys. Mateus Cunha, when he came onto the pitch, just a dynamic maverick. Listen, I don't know the long-term plans of Cunha because something tells me he's not going to sit on the bench for forever. He just, a player of his quality shouldn't. He has to find a role into this United team. But guys, as far as I'm concerned, he has single-handedly won us two matches this season off the bench against Liverpool and against Arsenal today. Just putting himself in a position to be fouled, being just that bit of annoyingness that you need to halt any opposition momentum. Absolutely brilliant. Lissandro Martinez, gosh, he gets better every single game. Better every single game. I think he has a lot of flaws if you tell him to go and attack in open space, but you have a guy driving at him. You have Erling Haaland, Victor Gyökeres, whoever it is, one-on-one against them, he will shush them so much. And another thing that I think Lissandro is absolutely brilliant at is he'll oftentimes find himself on the ground and the ball will be bobbling near him and he just gets that flick away. He just escorts it out. This United team, guys, they are can so easily qualify for Europe, qualify for Champions League, just because their players do the little things right. That's all you have to do in this league this year. But that'll be all for me, guys. Absolutely brilliant. This is this will go down as a hallmark video, a hallmark game today. It was absolutely perfect. I'll talk to you all soon. God bless.